This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by lynda.com. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the episode of Rettinger's Riffs. I'm your host, John Rettinger, and I got myself some new surroundings to talk about Nintendo, more specifically the Wii U, and perception of the Wii U as whether it's a current-gen console, a last-gen console, a sort of in-between console, and all kinds of Nintendo business that's been going on in my mind hole. This is Rettinger's Riffs. Let's go ahead and get started. So the impetus behind this video comes from social media. There's been a huge outcry, Nintendo supporters screaming their heads off, as people on social media tend to do, that the Wii U deserves more love and should get all kinds of crazy respect as a current-gen console. And I'm not sure, in all honesty, where I fall on that. If you look at the history of the Wii U, it came out about a year ago. It had about a year head start on the current gen of consoles, the Xbox One and the PS4. And from a purely spec standpoint, it was about on par with the graphic prowess of the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So the question that I want to sort of ask you guys is, why do you feel the Nintendo Wii U is not getting the respect it deserves? And do you think it should deserve any respect at all in the pantheon of consoles? So first, I love Nintendo. I always had Nintendo consoles up until the Xbox 360 generation, which was the GameCube. That was sort of when I started to veer away from Nintendo. I still say Nintendo makes the best first-party titles of any, not only console manufacturer, but sort of game developer at all. Nintendo's games are incredible. The Marios, the Zeldas, the Donkey Kongs are still fun and exciting to play. Super Mario 3D World is being hailed as one of the best games of the year. You've got Mario Kart coming out very soon. You've got Hyrule Warriors, a new Zelda game coming. You've got HD versions of previous Zelda games. There's a lot of really good games available on the Wii U, but it's not really being considered as sort of the go-to console. Looking to buy something, you walk into a store, you see the PlayStation 4, you see the Xbox One, and the Wii U. Certainly the Wii U is cheaper at $249. But why would somebody pick that up? And that's sort of the big question. So who's going to buy a Nintendo Wii U? So first, now having kids, I really appreciate the gamepad. My wife always wants to watch something else on TV. I don't want my son watching television while I'm playing the game. Or she wants us to watch something else where I can sort of just play quietly in a corner without having to sit in front of a TV. Nintendo absolutely nailed remote play. That's one big reason to consider the Wii U. Now, Sony offers something similar with the PlayStation 4, but you have to also purchase the PlayStation Vita. Although it does work about on par with what the Wii U has done, but the gamepad controller does come bundled with the Wii U, so you get that right out of the box, no extra hardware required. So certainly that is a really big one. I can't sort of overstate how important that is. If you live in a one TV household and you're always fighting over what to watch, this sort of solves that. If you want to play your Mario in bed late at night, all you got to do is be connected to Wi-Fi and you can play and sort of get full access to all your games. So that is a huge reason to consider the Wii U. There's still a bit of nostalgia that goes into Nintendo consoles. I always remember playing, the original Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers 2, Mario Brothers 3, and sort of fighting with my sister when the Super Nintendo came out to play Street Fighter 2. So I sort of always have that soft spot in my heart for Nintendo. But that soft spot sort of only gets you so much goodwill. So I think the big sort of division we see with gamers right now are those that consider themselves hardcore gamers. We'll call them sort of the Call of Duty crowd, the Battlefield crowd, and those that like sort of more, I guess, considered casual platformer type games like you'd see on Nintendo. So there really isn't much of a middle ground for those consoles. Nintendo, I think, when the Wii U first came out, was making a big push to try and make that console that sort of had everything. You could get your Marios, you can get your Zelda, but you could also get your, Call of Duty, your zombie U games going on. You could sort of have everything you wanted on this console, which finally had HD graphics. But developers sort of started to see the sales lag a little bit and started to move towards either not developing for the Wii U or stopping to create downloadable content for the Wii U. So moving their efforts to the Microsoft and Sony worlds. And it's sort of a hard proposition to go and purchase a console when you want the best of absolutely everything, because you don't really have that options. I think Microsoft and Sony have tried to sort of fill in that casual gamers. You've got games like Little Big Planet out there, a ton of games that you can use a Kinect for that sort of fill that gap, but no one's done it as well as Nintendo. So I think what you have with a lot of gamers is a two-console household. You either have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 or last-gen Xbox 360 or PS3, and you have a Nintendo Wii, and you have a Nintendo Wii U. But the question is the Wii U current gen? I don't know the answer to that. If you're going just by dates, then yeah, it is current gen because, it came out in the same generation of consoles, despite having a year head start of the Xbox One and the PS4. Graphic-wise and spec-wise, of course, it's certainly not up to the performance standards of those two flagship, but it still has a lot of great titles and more coming. Hyrule Warriors looks absolutely awesome. New Zelda games, new Marios, the things are just coming left and right. And of course, I can't forget about my sweet baby Mario Kart. Are those games enough of a tempo to really force people to buy those consoles? I don't know. We're going to take a minute to thank our friends and sponsors at lynda.com. Lynda.com offers thousands of engaging, easy-to-follow video tutorials taught by industry experts to help you learn software, creative, and business skills. Membership starts at just $25 per month and provides totally unlimited, anytime of day, 24/7 access. You can learn at your own pace from little teeny tiny tutorials to pretty comprehensive courses in everything, ranging from web design, programming, photography, business, audio and video, and 3D animation. You can give lynda.com a shot. Try it free for 7 days by visiting lynda.com/technobuffalo. Again, that's lynda.com/technobuffalo. So now that I've had a chance to exhale a little bit, I want to know what you guys think. If you were a one-console household, which one would you pick up? Would you go the Sony, the Microsoft, or the Nintendo route, and why? Try and keep the fanboy rage and accusations to the minimum. I want to try and, at least as much as we can, have a civil debate. I will join in those discussions. Do you consider the Wii U to be current gen? Do you consider it to be last gen? I want to hear your thoughts. Leave it kind of in my chest region. I want to know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Again, I am John Rettinger from Techno Buffalo. I'll see you next video. What's up, everyone? Thank you for watching that video. If you want to see more of the latest and greatest tech news, you can subscribe to our main Techno Buffalo channel by clicking the button right down below in my pants region, or click on the buttons to your right to see more videos.